Although it could appear to be a joke to you, this is not the case. Once you have a firm grasp of the principles that are discussed in this video, you will be able to do and possess everything you desire, and it is the commitment I make to you. Have you ever pondered the reasons behind why some people appear to have everything, while others are struggling to make ends meet? What are the reasons that some people are content, healthy, and successful, while others are miserable, unwell, and financially unable? Is it merely a matter of bad luck? Or is there something else at play here? What if I told you that there is a secret wisdom that can help you discover the answers to the questions that life poses and bring you closer to realizing your full potential? This is a knowledge that has been handed down from generation to generation by occult masters and secret societies, but it is now accessible to anyone who is interested in acquiring it. The kind of wisdom that has the power to change your mind, body, and spirit, as well as bring you into harmony with the natural laws that govern the universe. It is referred to as Hermeticism. The ancient intellectual and spiritual tradition known as Hermeticism can be traced back to Egypt, where it was first practiced about the 1st or 2nd century BC. Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary character who was thought to be the messenger of the gods and the source of all knowledge, is the inspiration for this work. It is based on the teachings that he delivered. Hermes Trismegistus is credited with penning a number of books that provide an outline of the philosophy of Hermeticism, which is often referred to as the 7 Hermetic Principles. A description of the nature of reality and the ways in which we can use our minds to change it is provided by these principles. An extensive range of esoteric and occult traditions, including alchemy, astrology, magic, Kabbalah, Rosicrucianism, Freemasonry, and philosophy, have been affected by the concept of Prometicism throughout the course of history. A great number of well-known thinkers, artists, and statesmen, including Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, William Blake, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Carl Jung, were all influenced by it because of its rich history. Those who are interested in achieving spiritual enlightenment and personal development continue to find Hermeticism to be relevant and popular in today's world. In this video, I will provide a straightforward explanation of each of the 7 Hermetic principles, as well as demonstrate how you might put them into practice in your own life. Your ability to tap into the power of your mind and create your own reality will be directly proportional to your level of understanding and application of these ideas. The secret connections that exist between you and the cosmos will also be revealed to you, along with the ways in which you can utilize these connections to your advantage. The principle of mentalism is the first Hermetic principle that must be followed. In it is stated that everything is thought and that the universe is mind. In what way does this imply? It means that everything that exists is a manifestation of a single, universal mind or consciousness. This consciousness is also known as the All, the One, the Source, or God. In actuality, everything that we take into account to be a part of the physical world is really a mental projection of this mind. In accordance with this notion, our own minds are a component of the whole and possess the same capacity for creative expression. Through the use of our minds, we have the ability to mold our reality in accordance with our thoughts and beliefs. Our experiences are formed by the thoughts and emotions that we have. Because of this, it is of the utmost importance to be conscious of our mental state and to select positive thoughts at the expense of negative ones. Consider the concept of quantum physics as a means of gaining an understanding of this principle. Quantum physics is a subfield of physics that endeavors to investigate the fundamental properties of matter and energy on the most fundamental level. This demonstrates that reality is not a fixed or objective concept, but rather one that is contingent upon the observer and the expectations that they have. For instance, depending on the method that we use to quantify it, light can exhibit the characteristics of either a wave or a particle. This would imply that reality is not something that exists outside of us, but rather something that exists within our own minds. Taking into consideration the phenomenon of self-fulfilling prophecies, or the placebo effect, is yet another technique to explain this notion. It is said that a self-fulfilling prophecy occurs when our belief about something causes it to come to pass. As an illustration, if we have the conviction that we are going to fail a test, we can intentionally put in less effort to study or perform poorly, so bringing about the realization of our belief. The phenomenon known as the placebo effect occurs when our perception of something causes us to feel better or worse without any underlying physical explanation. In the event that we take a sugar pill with the belief that it is a medicine, for instance, we can have less discomfort or more energy after taking it. This demonstrates how powerful our minds are and how they have the ability to influence the world around us. Through the use of the mentalism principle, we are able to make use of our minds to produce favorable outcomes for ourselves as well as for other people. Hermetic principles include the principle of correspondence, which is the second principle. According to this, as above, so below, and as within, so without, it is stated. In what way does this imply? It indicates that there is a correlation or likeness between the various planes of existence that the universe possesses. It is true that the microcosm, which is the smallest, is a reflection of the macrocosm, which is the largest. There is a reflection of the inner world in the outer world, and vice versa. The realization that everything is connected and interrelated in a way that is harmonious is brought about by this principle. Every facet of reality, from the physical to the spiritual, is governed by a set of patterns and laws that are universally applicable. It is possible for us to comprehend both ourselves and our position in the cosmos if we are able to comprehend these patterns and principles. Consider the concept of a mirror as a straightforward approach to comprehending this theory. Whatever you put in front of a mirror will be reflected back to you. Whenever you grin at the mirror, it will smile back at you right back. It is true that the mirror will frown back at you if you scowl at it. In the same way, the cosmos experiences the same thing. Whatever it is that you project onto the cosmos, it will mirror back to you. You are more likely to experience favorable outcomes if you project positive ideas, attitudes, and actions at others. In the event that you project bad ideas, attitudes, and behaviors onto others, you will bring about unfavorable results. The application of this principle is applicable to all levels and spheres of life. As an illustration, your state of health is a mirror of the thoughts and feelings that you have for your body. The thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself and other people are reflected in the relationships that you now have. Your vocation is a manifestation of the ideas and feelings you have toward the task you do and the reason you do it. Permit me to illustrate this principle with a personal case that I have experienced. In the past few years, I had been dissatisfied with my job. I experienced feelings of being stuck, bored, and unfulfilled. I was quite critical of my supervisor, my co-workers, and the responsibilities that I was assigned. Every day, I dreaded going to do my job. This led to an increase in the number of issues that I encountered at work, including disagreements, errors, and delays. Additionally, I became aware that my personal life was deteriorating. My energy levels were low, my health was terrible, and my relationships were strained. At some point, I made the decision to alter my perspective. Suddenly, I became aware that my thoughts and feelings were the primary contributors to the reality that I experienced. After making the decision, I opted to concentrate on the positive parts of my profession, such as the possibility of acquiring new skills, the adaptability of my schedule, and the influence that my work has on other people. In addition, I made the decision to show thankfulness for my job on a daily basis. I would like to express my gratitude to my supervisor for his direction, to my co-workers for their support, and to my tasks for the challenges they presented. As soon as I made a change to my inner world, subsequent changes occurred in my outside world. As a result of my increased enjoyment of my profession, my performance began to take off. My supervisor and my co-workers provided me with additional chances, as well as greater recognition and feedback. I also observed that my personal life had become more positive. My energy levels increased, my health improved, and my connections made me happy. That being said, this is but one illustration of how the notion of correspondence operates. Any aspect of your life that you feel could use some improvement or modification can be addressed by applying this idea. It is essential to bring your ideas, feelings, and actions into alignment with the goal you want to achieve. Everything is in motion, and everything vibrates, according to the principle of vibration, which claims that nothing is still. Everything in the cosmos, from the tiniest atom to the most massive galaxy, is in a state of motion and energy that is constant. Furthermore, the nature and status of this energy cause it to vibrate at a variety of distinct rates or frequencies simultaneously. In your opinion, what does this imply? Not only that, but it also indicates that you are a vibrating being with your own individual frequency. All of your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions have an impact on your vibration, and your vibration in turn has an impact on the reality you experience. When you are in sync with something, you attract it, and when you are not, you will repel it. This is the fundamental principle that underpins the law of attraction, which is a manifestation of the principle of vibration. When your vibration is at a high level, you are in harmony with feelings of pleasure, love, abundance, and tranquility. If you vibrate at a low frequency, you are aligning yourself with negative emotions such as fear, wrath, desire, and conflict. Your vibration can be raised by practicing thankfulness, which is one approach to do so. Your attention is shifted from what you do not have to what you do have when you experience gratitude, which is a strong emotion. In addition to this, it prepares your heart to receive further gifts from higher powers. The following is a straightforward activity that you should try. Every morning, write down 3 things for which you are thankful, as long as they can make you feel good. It doesn't matter how big or how small they are. Then, during the day, anytime you come across anything that brings you joy or something for which you are thankful, express your gratitude either in your head or out loud. Observe how this alters both your mood and your energy levels. In accordance with the polarity concept, everything have a dual nature. There are poles found in everything, and every object has its own pair of opposites. Hot and cold, light and dark, good and evil, love and hatred are some examples of negative emotions. There is no distinction between these two entities. Rather, they are distinct facets of the same entity. On the same spectrum, they form opposite extremes of the spectrum. In your opinion, what does this imply? In other words, it indicates that you have the ability to alter your perspective of any scenario or circumstance by adjusting the polarity of your thoughts. There is always the option to look at something from either a good or a negative perspective. What you choose to love or despise is entirely up to you. At every given time, you have the ability to choose whether you want to feel joyful or sad. The importance of this idea lies in the fact that it enables you to strike a balance between the extremes and to access the complete range of possibilities. For instance, if you are experiencing feelings of melancholy, you can recognize that sadness is a natural emotion that serves a function and has value associated with it. You can, however, make the decision to look at the opposite side of grief, which is joy. Perhaps you can go back to a period when you were joyful, or you could engage in an activity that brings you joy. You might also come to the realization that grief is not a permanent state. It will vanish and be replaced by joy once more. Acceptance is one method that can be utilized to put this notion into practice. The state of mind known as acceptance enables one to accept whatever is occurring in their life without putting up any resistance or passing judgment on its events. Acknowledging something does not imply that you agree with or enjoy everything. Rather, it just indicates that you recognize it in its current state. You will be able to liberate yourself from suffering and open yourself up to learning and development thanks to this action. If you want to try out this straightforward practice, declare, "I accept this," either in your head or out loud whenever you come across an issue or a hurdle in your life. The next question you should ask yourself is, what can I learn from this? In what ways may I profit from this? What is the best way for me to make use of this? You have the ability to make the decision to behave in a manner that is congruent with your spiritual purpose, to generate happy thoughts and feelings, and to establish healthy habits. You have the ability to bring about great changes in your life as well as in the globe if you do so. Whenever you hear the word gender, what thoughts come to mind for you? Is it biological sex, social roles, personal identity, or something else that comes to mind when you think about men? Furthermore, gender is a universal principle that applies to everyone and everything, despite the fact that it is a topic that is both complicated and controversial in contemporary culture. According to the gender principle, everything possesses certain modalities or features that are associated with both masculinity and femininity. Our thoughts and behaviors, as well as our feelings and emotions, are all influenced by the masculine and feminine energies, which are two modalities of expression that apply to our thoughts and behaviors. Male energy is characterized by characteristics such as being forceful, active, logical, intellectual, analytical, and goal-oriented. The feminine energy is characterized by its passive nature, receptivity, intuitiveness, creativity, emotionality, and focus on the process. Not polar opposites, but rather complementary energies these energies are. Together, they contribute to the creation of harmony and balance, not only in ourselves, but also in the world. Like the two sides of a coin or the two poles of a magnet, they are opposites of one another. There is also a similarity between them and the yin and yang energies that are found in Eastern philosophy. These energies symbolize the dynamic interaction of all phenomena. Female, dark, cool, gentle, inward and downward are all characteristics of the yin energy. Yang is a masculine force that is bright, hot, and hard, and it is directed outward and upward. Both the yin and yang energies are in a state of perpetual change and influence one another. Never are they fixed or distinct. Rather, they are perpetually in motion and in relation to one another. The gender principle reminds us that we must strike a balance between the yin and yang forces that exist within ourselves as well as those that exist in our relationships with other people. It is imperative that we acknowledge and accept both the masculine and feminine sides of our nature, rather than repressing or concealing anyone. Logic and intuition, analysis and creativity, action and reflection, aspiration and nurture are all aspects that need to be incorporated into our work. When we accomplish this, we are able to create a state of wholeness and harmony that not only enables us to realize our full potential and purpose, but also improves our ability to communicate and connect with other people who may have varying degrees of masculine and feminine energy. Both the diversity and the richness of life that result from the interaction of genders are something that we are able to enjoy. You should have a good understanding of the 7 Hermetic principles and how they can have an effect on your life at this point. Put these principles into practice in your day-to-day existence and see how your reality shifts as a result.